Opinion: India's rise to fourth largest economy a cause for celebration, not nitpicking. India recently achieved a historic milestone, surpassing Japan to become the world's fourth largest economy with a nominal GDP of 4.19 trillion, according to International Monetary Fund (IMF) data. In purchasing power parity (PPP) terms, GDP grew from 6.7 trillion to 17 trillion, maintaining its third global rank. This ascent from the 10th largest economy in 2014, with a GDP of 2.04 trillion, is a testament to India's relentless progress, backed by transformative policy reforms and sustained economic resilience. India's rise should inspire pride, optimism, and a sense of affirmation about its future trajectory. While we celebrate this milestone, some persistent skeptics downplay it by cherry-picking data about the nominal GDP per capita of 2,880 in 2025, which is well below that of Japan 33,900, Germany 56,960, China 13,000, or the US 86,000. India, with 1.43 billion people, is significantly different from Japan 122 million and Germany 84 million in both scale and historical timeline. A large population naturally dilutes per capita metrics, but GDP growth is the engine that lifts incomes over time. This is also a disingenuous shifting of goalposts, as such comparisons conveniently ignore historical context, population scale, and the timeline of development. The United States achieved the 4 trillion GDP milestone in 1987, with its per capita income already approximately $17,000. The US's trajectory had been well defined by decades of accumulated wealth, advanced infrastructure, technological dominance, and capitalist growth models. Similarly, when China crossed the 4 trillion threshold in 2008, its per capita income was around 3,500, only slightly higher than India's current figure. GDP growth is the engine for per capita gains, and India's trajectory can easily mirror China's decade of growth, which propelled its per capita income from 3,500 to 13,000 at present. We already have all the building blocks in place, thanks to the demographic dividend of a young and working-age population, large domestic consumption, integrated manufacturing capabilities, high-tech prowess, and the world's third-largest startup ecosystem. We are also strategically well-positioned to become Atmanirbhar self-reliant and to make in India. Indeed, per capita income is vital, and India's per capita income has risen significantly from approximately 1,484 in nominal terms in 2014 to around 2,880 in 2025, nearly doubling over a span of just over a decade. In terms of purchasing power parity (PPP), the growth is even more remarkable, from approximately 5,500 in 2014 to over 12,000 in 2025, representing a growth of more than 120% in the last year alone. India's nominal per capita income increased from approximately 2,698 to 2,880, about 6.7%, while PPP per capita income rose from 11,000 to 12,100, an impressive 10%. Just 2 decades earlier, in 2004, India's per capita income was a mere 620. The nearly 5-fold increase since then clearly indicates that India's economic tide is rising steadily, lifting millions out of poverty along the way. No rational observer claims that India has achieved developed nation status overnight. Indeed, India's leadership has itself set an ambitious goal of achieving Viksit Bharat, or developed nation status, by 2047. The journey toward becoming a developed economy involves sequential steps, each paving the way for the next. Growth in nominal GDP and global ranking invariably precedes and fosters per capita growth. To dismiss India's substantial GDP growth as inconsequential is both disingenuous and misleading. Moreover, the gap in per capita income between India and the developed nations is narrowing. In 2014, India's nominal per capita income was 4% of Japan's 38,000. By 2025, it is 8.5% of Japan's 33,900. In PPP terms, India's 12,000 is 22% of Japan's 54,000 at present, up from 14.5%, 5,500 versus 38,000 in 2014. The focus on per capita income also ignores broader metrics. India's total household assets are estimated to be 20 trillion, yielding a per capita household wealth (PCHW) of approximately 21,000, which is far above the nominal income. India also boasts the world's fourth-largest foreign exchange reserve, 680 billion 2025, and the seventh-largest gold reserves. Detractors should also appreciate the fundamental economic concept of convergence, whereby emerging economies naturally experience rapid catch-up growth. Prominent economist Jeffrey Sachs has repeatedly emphasized that India is now in an age of convergence, rapidly narrowing the developmental gap due to robust economic policies and accelerating reforms under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India's massive infrastructure development, public digital infrastructure, financial inclusion, and strategic policy initiatives are catalyzing this rapid economic convergence. India's narrative today is not just of mere numerical growth, although the numbers are unambiguous and speak for themselves. It is a narrative of lifting more than 170 million people out of extreme poverty, creating economic opportunities, and improving the quality of life. India's rise to the fourth-largest economy is also a triumph of resilience. From colonial exploitation 45 trillion was siphoned off, as per economist Utsa Patnaik, to a 4.19 trillion powerhouse. India has defied odds. India's rise is indeed of great consequence, despite the negativity from the naysayers and detractors. The achievements are tangible, measurable, and undeniable. India's rapid economic ascent deserves recognition, celebration, and optimism. As Mats Honedlueo warned, if you listen to critics for too long, you will become deaf to success. Swipe left for next video. India's course is clear, its goals achievable, and its progress tangible. It is time to embrace optimism and push forward with courage. India's 4th place on the leaderboard is just the beginning of a marathon. With rising confidence and resolute determination, our race toward Viksit Bharat continues at an increasing pace. The author is an angel investor and startup mentor for the Atal Innovation Mission, Government of India, and the Atal Incubation Centre Ramhamhalji Prabhat Hinai. He is presently the convener Western Maharashtra of the BJP Intellectual Cell and has recently co-edited the book Modi's Northeast Story. Views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely those of the author. They do not necessarily reflect NEWS18's views. Latest blogs